This is Angola. Have you ever been there? My name is Nabi Kefas, and you all know me from my YouTube channel Kefas Isakaya. With my organization, we are organizing another trip to Angola on October 21st up to 31st, 2024 this year. And I'm inviting...
Yes, Mbote Bandeko. This was actually from our previous trip in 2024. We went there, and
to join me in this.
yeah, Byron, of course, joined me, and we had a wonderful time. And we are organizing I think a fourth trip. Yes, a fourth trip to Angola with my organization, Angola Investment Group. So if you are one who wants to discover Angola, you want to see, the country, you want to know what the business opportunities are in Angola, make sure to link with me, connect with me, and let's go together. With Angola Investment Group, we are right now building a diaspora community. Yes, a diaspora community. At this very moment, we have 10 hectares where we are building the diaspora community, and we are, of course, expanding it. We are buying more, right? Because we want to have at least 50 and a maximum of at least 50 to 100 hectares. So if you want to join us in this endeavor, you want to be part of what Angola Investment Group is doing, connect with us, email us, at info@angolainvestmentgroup.com. Let me know that you're interested. We have a lot of plots within our gated community, the diaspora community, what we are building right now. So if you are interested and you want to be part of our diaspora community in Angola, join me. Send me email, let me know, and let's have a conversation on how you can join, and then we can discuss all the pricings and etc. Yes, because we need to prepare ourselves. We need to be prepared. We are living already in the times of the Exodus. Okay, the Exodus is already happening. We are already there. I will do a teaching, of course, like I said, this year, explaining my perspective and how I see the Exodus happening based on my understanding and the breakdown of scriptures, the interpretation of scripture. Okay, not in accordance with the European paradigm, the European theology, but according to what I understand as a Muntu from a Congo perspective. And I will break down the Exodus to give you a clear understanding. Yes, because we need to prepare ourselves for what is coming. The world is changing. And if we don't heed the warnings and directions of Yakongo, right, the Holy One, the one who guards the Bena Congo, Nkulu Congo, we will be in a difficult situation. Okay, in a difficult situation because the world is shifting. The powers of the world, the powers of the cosmos, they have returned to Congo. Okay, they have returned to Africa. So what we will see is a decrease of the Western economy and the Western powers. They will begin to decline, and as they begin to decline, many of these Western powers will try to create wars. Understand? And by creating wars, by being involved in warfare, that's how they will try to save themselves and their economies. So we need to be aware on how to prepare and how to move. Yeah, so stay posted. I will do a teaching breaking that down. And Angola Investment Group, this, what we are doing, what I am doing, I received this vision by the mandate of the Most High. Because one day as I was laying down, I heard a voice very clear speaking to me. Who will bring my people back? It was very clear, loud. Who will bring my people back? Who will bring my people back? I knew exactly what the voice was trying to communicate with me, or was communicating with me. And so I prayed on it. I say, what can I do? I'm not a millionaire, I'm not a billionaire, I have no money. What can I do? And from that prayer, Angola Investment Group was born. Because the Most High, by His Spirit, revealed to me that I needed to establish an organization that you and I, right, anyone can be part of. Okay, you can join this organization, and together, as we practice collective investment, right, as we put our monies together, our resources together, our experiences together, in that way we can do great things. Now, I invested my own money, and I went ahead and I bought plots. I bought land in Angola. We established the business. It's registered in Angola. And now I need you. I have put down the foundations. I've laid down the foundations. But now I need you to come. You who have vision. You who believe and trust in Nabi Kefa and what I'm doing. Come, let's go to Angola together. Let's see what we can do and establish there. It's Angola offers a lot of opportunity. So I'm inviting you to come with me. Our next trip will be somewhere in June or July. I will confirm it this January. So all of you who wants to join can actually join and discover Angola, for yourself, and see and understand what I'm talking about. All right. So that's an invitation from my part, inviting you, come and join me in the months of June or July. I will confirm this month. Join me to Angola. Okay, join me to Angola. Be part of the diaspora community, what I'm building in Angola. Get your plot within the community and build your house. It will be a gated community. We will have stores, places for children to play, and fitness facilities. Actually, everything you need, right? Everything you may need, we want to build it in that community, so that you don't need to go very far to just to get basic stuffs. Everything will be there, accessible in the community that we are building in Angola. But I need you to partner with me, and let's go together, because this is how the Exodus must take place. This is the way how we successfully can return to the motherland. Okay, how we successfully can return to the motherland. So, but if you just say, oh, I'm going back, you pack up your things and you go, how will you survive? So I prayed on those things. I asked the Most High for guidance and wisdom and counsel, and He gave me an answer. And from that counsel and wisdom and revelation, I started this organization, Angola Investment Group, for us. It's not for me, it's for us, so that we as a people, those who belong to Angola, Congo, can return safely within a community where you have people, who have the same mentality as you, who believe the same things as you, where we can build together, strive together, and build the Angola of the future, where we can establish businesses together. And be part of the economic growth of Angola. And the plots that we have, the terrain is around 30 minutes from the new international airport. Yeah, so if you want more information, you can email me. We can have a consultation and I can explain everything. Also, I am organizing a Zoom session for everyone who is interested. The Zoom session, I will organize it, I think, maybe end of this month if everything goes alright. And I will invite all of you to come and join me, where I will explain what we're doing, and how you can be part of the Angola Investment Group, so that we can build together. So you have a way to migrate back when you want to. Yes, you have a community where you can be part of, so you're not isolated. You will have your house, you will have your businesses, because we also help you in setting up a business. We do it together. We set up a business together, so that you and your family can not only spiritually thrive but also economically thrive in Africa, right? In Angola. It's very important. And as we establish businesses, it will also help the local population, right? Our brothers and sisters who are living there, to have a job, to have a future, to update their life. So it's a win-win situation. We need them and they need us. Ingeta. Now, Bandeko, welcome. Mbote, Nusiemi. Greetings to all the Bantu family all over the world, to the dispersed and outcast of Isolele. In the eastern and western hemisphere, may the spirit of Tatanzambi Yamazulu be with all of you wherever you are in this world. And by that I say, Kembo, 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 na Tatanzambi. Glory, glory, glory to Tatanzambi. Hallelujah. Now, I need you all to support the channel. If you love the content, if you love and enjoy the teachings on this platform, you appreciate me, Nabi Kefa, your Bantu teacher, in this awakening. You can support me by PayPal. The link is in the description box. You can support me by becoming a Patreon member, and that's actually the best way to support. Why? Because you also get access to more content which is not on YouTube. And if you become a Patreon member, you will also find this teaching on Patreon. It's a recorded teaching. It's very powerful, and I have more teaching on Patreon which are not here on YouTube. And I am finishing a study on the names of the 12 tribes, and I will do a teaching what will be available completely on Patreon. So if you want to get the knowledge of the names of the 12 tribes from the Kikongo Bantu perspective or dialect, please consider to become a Patreon member. It will first air on Patreon, and later I will, of course, share some bits and pieces here on YouTube. There are already some teachings I did breaking down, I think, Reuben and Simeon, I believe. Yeah, the next will be Levi and the rest, but that will be aired on Patreon first. And so, Matondo for being here. Make sure to like and share the video. If you're new, don't forget to subscribe. 50% of the people who watch Nabike Fayisekaya here on YouTube are not subscribed. If you are watching me, why not subscribe, right? Subscribe, help a brother out, and let's collaborate to reach more people, to elevate the platform and to reach more people. I believe more people need to hear what I have to say and what I'm bringing out. If you agree, now, help me, right? Help a brother, share the content, share the page, whatever. Do whatever you can, and let's grow the channel together. So let me acknowledge some people who have made the presence known in the chat. Mariko Congo, Mbote Ndeko, Mbote Nzambe Apambola, Chris Matisse, Salama, Double Yates, Salembe to you. Yeah, Shalom. We don't know that word Shalom. It's not a Bantu word. But I understand what you're saying. But we say Salembe or Salama. Thank you for being here, the Bull Yates. Yes, and thank you for your beautiful comment and appreciation and encouragement. Zambia Benisa. Sikari, how do you pronounce your name? Takayap, I'm Mbote to you, bro. And Tasha says it's beautiful to know we in the Americas are welcome. Oh, Tasha, you are more than welcome. I'm inviting you personally to come with me to Angola. I'm 100% sure that you will have a great time, wonderful time. And I'm inviting you also to invest with me as we are building an Angola, a diaspora community in Angola, right? It will be a gated community where you have sense of, safety, but also you'll be with other people who are coming from the diaspora and who went back, who will build together, we live together, we build businesses together, yeah, it will be a wonderful, wonderful experience, yes, because we need to leave the West. About where to go and how to go about it. Now, that's why you have me, Nabi Kefa Isekaya, your guide, your teacher, if you will have me. Ingeta. All right, now, let's go into it. So we're talking in this episode, right? In this broadcast, we will talk about Judaism is Bukongo. Now, being in the West, right? If you grew up in America or in Europe or Brazil or whatever, the term Bukongo may be a mystery to you, but in this broadcast, I will give you the understanding of this word, of the term Bukongo. And you will understand that the term Bukongo and Judaism are one and the same. Okay, they are one and the same. And the term Bukongo, which is also Bankaka, reveals that the Bantu people are indeed the ancient of days, okay? The ancient of days, the firstborn, the sons and daughters of Yakongo, of Nzambi Mpongotulendo, or as you may know by the name Yahuwah, right? But the Bantu Congo don't say how Yahuwah. We also don't know the term Yahuwah. But we know Yah. We know the term Yah and Yah Congo and Yah Nzambe or Nzambi Mpongotulendo. All those terms are familiar. And some American brothers have done teachings demonizing the name Nzambi, telling our brothers and sisters in the Americas and online that Nzambi is a zombie. Nzambi is not a zombie, okay? That's just another demonization of the European to keep you away from your heritage. Yes, to keep you away from the truth. Nzambi has nothing to do with zombies. And by the way, did you know that the word Nzambi is in the book, in the Apocrypha? Yes, wait a minute, I have the Apocrypha. Yes, it's in the Apocrypha, Nzambi. Let me see. It's Esdras. Where is it? Second Ezra something. Let me see. I will have to look it up. I don't want to spend a lot of time searching for something. Yes, okay. It's First Esdras. Okay. First Esdras, chapter 9. You verify. Those who have the Apocrypha, go there and verify what I'm saying. Yeah, the word Nzambi, the name Nzambi, is in the Apocrypha with a Z. Okay. So, in First Esdras, chapter 9, verse 34, you have a list of names. Okay, you have a list of names, and among those names you will see Nzambis. Nzambis. Z-A-M-B-I-S. Now the S at the end is silence. Okay, so Nzambis is actually Zambi. Zambi. And the list of the names mentioned there, or listed there, are names of priests. And you know, in biblical tradition and Bantu tradition, we carry the name of God, right? So Nzambi is also a surname among Bantu people. There's actually a lady in Kenya who carries the name Nzambi, and she has established a beautiful business there, doing recycling. Recycling plastic in Kenya. Look her up. Her name is Nzambi. Okay, now we will start by listening to a video of Rabbi Phineas Eliyahu Shaddai. He is a Mukongo, and he states that Judaism is in actuality what the Congo people call Bukoko, the ancestral tradition of the Congo ancestors. Now, this Rabbi Phineas Eliyahu, he's a convert. He converted to Judaism, right? Of the SOS, Synagogue of. So he converted to Judaism, and now he's promoting Judaism. Okay, so I don't know how to feel about him, but however, he says something very interesting. Okay, for the Congo people, and I think Congo people, that includes you, we need to listen to what he say, and then I will have my comment. Let's listen. Let me see if I can okay, let's do it like this.
Makanisi, est-ce que na famille na bino juif azali?
Eza question moko bien parce que sala toujours sala to pendant que
Can you guys hear the volume? Yes? Let me know if you can all hear the volume. If you can hear the video.
Pendant que déjà na Israël, eza koloba we biso bato mwindo tant to kota judaïsme to boy ko koma ba ashkenaz to ba séfarade. Eza ba deux genres ya ba juif to mona kalelo. Bato ba uta Afrique du Nord ou bato ba uta Europe de l'Est. biso na musala tosala na institution na biso na Jérusalem tolakisa ke na balivre ya bakabbaliste ya bajuif balivre oyo ya kalakala ekomama ke na kwa na biso kuna na Afrique bato mpe bazalaki koyekola mpe kozala na judaïsme makasi. Judaïsme wana eza eloko oyo biso na bino tobengaka bokoko. Mais bokoko ya solo. Ce que tali sikoyo, les relations entre spiritualité ya ba royauté africaine na 15e, 14e siècle. Au tali yango sikoyo na judaïsme à époque wana okomona ke eza eloko moko. Donc biso musana biso ta que grand rabbinat d'Afrique eza ko sala ke ba africain bazala à l'aise na judaïsme na bango. Pas kanisa te qu'il faut pas comme ba mindele, ala ta kaboye, ba dia kaboye non. Parce que la culture na biso ba congolais, culture na bi ya ba tumsusu pe na ba Cameroun na ba Gabon, ba racine misisa ya solo ya judaïsme eza na kati. Donc lelo na famille na la buta ba Congo. La bi ke ba israélite baza, tout ça. Donc Kabbalah est un niveau le plus mystique, il y a interprétation, il y a ba verset, il y a Bible.
D'autres le Isaac Indoki. Ndenge bato bandeko babenga ngo keza magie Isaac Indoki.
Non, ce que ozolo ba kindoki selon définition o ya Kikongo avant que ba chrétien ba ya na mboka na biso, lo bandengwana. Mais ko yeba profondeur ya eloko, eza connaissance, eza savoir. Donc ce que monique bato ba mindele ba yaki na mboka na biso pona lo ba ke baza bandoki. Non, tozaki ba sachant. Ba connaisseur ndenge ni ko guérir mutu à partir ba plante ndenge ko yeba ba rythme ya ba planète ko yeba les rythme sanza on a donc eza connaissance. Donc tango batu bazo mona ba juif bazo sala kabbalah bazo admirer bango mais boye bakake na bokoko na biso peza ki ndenge wana différence za ke comme mundela zo salango bozo beta maboko soki mutu mundela zo sala bozo pe ngao kindoki to lo ba boye faut ko yeba ke ba carte du monde oyo monaka ba carte géographique do monaka eza eloko moko kaka mutu aganyaka bitumba mutu asala ba carte kaka mutu aganyaka bitumba akomaka histoire. Donc yo oza sûr que Jérusalem o ozoloba eza kuna d'autres nos questions oza sûr que Jérusalem oyo komona siko na place pa benga Israël eza kuna nga na yebi na betu tasala que Jérusalem eza probablement na Congo.
Hein?
Moi, est-ce que vous devez voyager pour les qui ne boy. Ce que tu as lu vraiment Milo que ça boy. Mesurer. Donc, on dit que la cartographie au monde la carte à Montikoyo, les a mercator ta salango. Le monde est la platé. Ce que ça la carte, objectif est que faut qu'on tient moi le fond pour la peuple na donc comité na katikati. Aya Europe puis construire boy. Si vous avez une carte, si vous avez une par rapport à la continent Missoussa, alors que l'équipe a une taille. C'est ce qu'on appelle ça vérité.
L'équipe a une taille.
Si vous avez un livre, vous avez un juif, vous avez un Talmud. Le Talmud, on a un voyage, il y a le roi Alexandre le Grand, des Macédoines. Il y a Sikoyo, Azalaki na Jérusalem. À côté de la passage, bon. Nous avons exploré l'Afrique. Et puis, nous avons une mission. Nous avons un niveau à la tête. Nous avons un roi à Mokili Mobimba. Nous avons un désir de Mokili Mobimba. Ok? Alors, comment en Afrique, a entré à Jardin d'Éden? Alexandre le Grand, à Jérusalem. En Afrique, a entré à Jardin d'Éden. Si vous à Jérusalem d'en haut, Jérusalem d'en bas. Ce qui vous analyser en haut, en bas, est-ce qu'il y a invisibilité vu les X? Est-ce qu'il y a la lumière? Est-ce qu'il y a l'île? Est-ce qu'il y a la invisibilité? C'est impossible que la ville mobimba est la construite na niveau. Et pas que Jérusalem, où il y a besoin de Luka. Ce qui s'appelle Yesu, parce que la religion est structurée de tel que faut bokena kakuna ou bien bokena Rome. Et ce qui est la vérité, koyeba ndenge nini empire na biso baram na biso eza effacé boye, alors que tozalaki puissance mondiale na carte misusu na Vatican bekomama tribu de Juda na katikati ya Congo. Donc nga nayebi que Jérusalem eza na Congo. C'est quoi vérité wana faut qu'on structure, il faut pas qu'on balance ma campagne.
Est-ce que bandeko no pe ba Yuda o baza na Israël ba yebi pe que paradis ezaka na Congo ndenge lobi Jérusalem wana?
Un peu ce exemple.
Ya mindele, ya poso mindele.
Aye très bien parce que makambo nyonso oyo biso to bimisa to lobaka to memaka référence ya ba livre na bango. Soko son âge, il faut pas qu'il y ait na émotion, faut pas qu'il y ait na sentiment. Mais maka livre fungola ka page la ki saye pa ni komama. Donc biso ba livre nyonso oyo est daté il y a 2000 ans. Tozwa ango to kenda to luka na kati to mona que continent na biso que Congo que mboka wana eza place oyo e ailaka. Siko to mozolo ba makambo wana okozana keba parce que batu oyo basala ke yo siko zo kanisa Jérusalem eza kuna c'est pilaté. C'est pilaté. Donc yo siko ozo pesa batu ke batime la situation fungoli miso. Bazo comprendre que non bon cannabis en fait eza boye en fait biso tout ça ba boye eza ndengwana te ozo fungola batu miso alors que pendant presque 6 siècles changer bango mentalité memi bango ti se détester inaka culture na bango inaka bango mokopé eza musala de longue haleine basali musala makasi yo siko yo la buki boye wani ko balancer ba vérité pose à la près na danger wana mais là on a grand salamaki il y a 3 semaines tokenaki Namibie président ya Namibie à recevoir biso à lobby pour la première fois dans l'histoire président africain à recevoir rabbin noir oyo bazo sala bazo lobaki judaïsme eza beaucoup na biso beta canon parce que Namibie eza lokola gendarme d'Afrique du Sud. Afrique du Sud va renvoyer qui ambassadeur à Israël il y a deux problèmes. Donc biso sikoyo na Afrique to comme batu ya masolo ya maloba on a judaïsme parce que tozoya te na lolendo oyo batu mususu bamona kana ba juif tozoya na militaire beaucoup qu'on a biso debi ke okola ki sa noblesse na manière koloba na ndeni kozala ko aider batu pas que batu bamona ka lokola ke zomi mona ke baponanga na salinga non. Donc biso tozo sa musala ya kolaki sa ba africain ke judaïsme eza ya bino eza yango mutezalaki avant que ba portugais baya ba hollandais baya ba allemand baya soki botali bokoko na bino et que bo analyser bongo na ba mibeko eleka lokola boyinaka miyinaka donc bokanza ezaka kindoki bozo kenya ba religion mususu donc ça na droit na ye mais religion eza spiritualité.
Kembo, powerful, eh? Powerful. So he made a lot of points. Right? He made a lot of points, very strong, and you don't need to agree with people all the time. You can have some, differences, but I liked what he said. It's very on point and very direct, and basically he's saying that Bukongo, right? Bukongo, the ancestral tradition, is actually Judaism. Okay, now we're gonna... How many here understood Lingala, by the way? Give me a 1 in the chat if you understood Lingala. I tried to translate it in English as good as possible, not to make it too complicated for you to follow. I hope I done a good job. But anyway, so we're gonna look into what the rabbi said to verify, is this rabbi correct? Did he correctly state that Judaism is Bukoko, right? And Bukoko means ancestral tradition. Now we're going to look into that. We will also look into the scriptures. Okay, we will go into the scriptures and to see if we can find the term bukoko in the Bible. Are you guys excited? Yeah, so we're gonna look into scripture to see if we can find the term bukoko in the Bible. Yo, brothers and sisters, this will be amazing. I promise you, you will love what we will share today. Crazy. Okay, we're the people. If you are not subscribed to this channel, subscribe today and share the feed. Let people know we're live, we're on. Okay, share, because we're gonna start right now with revealing bukoko, Judaism as bukoko in the Bible. It's gonna be fire. You don't want any of your brothers and sisters to miss this. So invite them now. Let them know Nabi Kefa is live. He will reveal something explosive. You all need to come and listen what he has to share. Okay, so Judaism, according to the rabbi, who is a Mukongo, he's from the same tribe as I am. Okay, he's a Mukongo, as I am a Mukongo from the Bakongo. Okay, and the Bakongo, they were also priests and kings, because we are of the Judah, and we were kings and priests, dignitaries, great people. All right, very spiritual people, very spiritual people. And so this is my direct brother, my direct elder, because we're from the same tribe as a Mukongo. So he made some strong points. So we're gonna go into it. Okay, is the rabbi correct in his statement? Question mark. Is Judaism, bukoko, really the ancestral tradition of the Congo people and Bantu in general? Yeah? Question mark. So we're gonna answer all of that. But before we go that, let's look into the definition of people. People is defined as the members of a family or kingship, a body of persons, Bantu, that are united by a common culture. Okay, so what is the culture of African Bantu? What is the culture of the American African, African American? What is the culture of the Afro-Brazilian, of the Afro-Venezuelan, Afro-Mexican, Afro-everything where black people live? What is the true tradition of the ancestor, the culture, what the language, the institutions, beliefs? Okay, we need to answer all of that. Okay, we need to answer all of that, because even though we are in the awakening, we identify ourselves as Israelites. I can tell you, hear me as I say, our ancestors were never called Israelites. That's a European term. Okay, so we are identifying ourselves as Israelites. That's not really a term that our ancestors used to identify themselves and their people. So we technically are not Israelites. Okay, we never use the term. We are Isolele. We are Bakongo, Benakongo. Okay. So what is Bukoko? What is Bukoko? Now, the ancestral tradition is called a Bukoko among the Congo people. Do you hear? We start with that. So, Bukoko is the ancestral tradition, yeah, with emphasis Okay, with emphasis, ancestral tradition. Ancestral tradition of the Congo people. Bukoko can be understood as the customs and instructions, what we have received from our fathers. Okay, from our fathers. These traditions are part of our identity. Traditions and identity, they are part of our identity that binds, and this word's very important, that binds us with our ancestors. Okay, this word bind, you know what that word is? This word is in the Latin religar, ligar, which means to bind. Okay, ligar in Latin means to bind, to bind. Now, let me do you one better. Let's religion etymology. Oh, what's happening? Okay, so let's look into the word religion, its etymology. Okay, religion, state of life bound by monastic vows. Also action or conduct indicating a belief in a divine power and reverence for and desire to please it, from Anglo-French religion. Yeah, that's French. Religion, French, religion, pity, devotion, religious community. Okay, let's jump. Now, this noun of action was derived from Cicero, from religere, to go through again, in reading or in thought. I'm looking, okay, here. Okay, here. Yeah. Can you see it? Religare, to bind. Yes, that's the Latin. Religare. So religion etymologically comes from the Latin religare, which means to bind fast. Yes, to bind. Via the notion of place and obligation on or bond between humans and God. You see that? So it's a bond between humans and gods, plural. Look at that. Gods, plural. Okay, so there you have the definition of no, not the definition, but the etymology of religare, to bind. Now, it's very interesting because the traditions of our ancestors were not only part of our identity, but they bind us with our ancestors. So we have a bond. That bond, we will look into it later. Our link with them is what ties, once again, right? What ties us with the Most High. So if you remove your ancestors from the equator, you have no promises, no covenants, right? No blessings, because everything is tied together with the ancestors. Now, you know, and this is where people are messed up. When they hear me say ancestors, they freak out. You know, it's they're triggered. Some of you have already left. Like, ooh, I'm gone. Many of you have unsubscribed because of this. Because I almost, not always, but almost in every video I mention ancestors. And people think that I'm worshiping the dead. I'm not worshiping the dead. And in this video you will understand. In many video I did actually, you know, in many things I always explain, I repeat myself 100 times anytime I mention the term ancestors. You know, sometimes it's tiresome, but we must learn. We learn through repetition, and many of you, many different people are watching me. When you don't watch one video, you can watch maybe this video, and when I mention something in the previous video but you haven't watched it and I mention it in this video, I have to explain so that you can follow and understand what we're saying. Yes, but our link with them is what ties us with the Most High, the covenants, the promises, the laws, and the way of life, and etc. So what is Bukongo? The biblical Hebrew word kakak reveals the identity of the people. Those are the Bantu. It is the Lingala Koko, okay? Koko, grandfather or grandchild, which give us a Bukoko, and Bukoko means ancestral tradition, or traditions actually, yeah, plural, ancestral traditions, customs, and even law. Okay, law. Now let's continue. Bukoko, Hebrew kakak. Okay, Bukoko is the Hebrew kakak. Oh, it's actually, let me do it like this: Koko. Okay, because Bukoko and Koko, they convey different understandings actually. Koko means ancestor or grandchild, and Bukoko means ancestral traditions, customs, and law. Now, Koko is the Hebrew kakak. Okay, the word first appears. Yes, the word kakak first appears in Genesis 49 verse 10. Brothers and sisters, the scepter, yeah, the ruler's staff, right? That's the scepter. The ruler's staff, the scepter, shall not depart from Yahundi. Okay, and remember, the Bakongo are one of the group of Yahundi. So the scepter shall not depart from Yahundi, nor a lawgiver. See, I can open this up, but it's the word kakak, which we see here. It's this strong number. Lawgiver here is the translation of the word kakak. So let's put it like that. Okay, so the lawgiver is kakak, from between his feet until Shiloh comes. Now, Shiloh in the Bible, biblical understanding refers to a anointed one, right? A anointed one, a God king. Now, when we say anointed one or the term God king, many of you will say, oh yeah, that's Christ, right? That's Jesus Christ. If we say that's Christ, we are correct. But when we say that's Jesus Christ, we are actually technically incorrect. Why? Because Jesus Christ is not the only Christ. You understand? Christ means anointed one. And when you go through scripture, you know that Jesus Christ, technically, scripturally, biblically, is not the only Christ. And even me saying this will trigger a lot of negative feelings in some people. They will start to say to themselves as they're listening to me, no, Jesus is the Christ, he's the Savior, he's the Son of God, he's God, he's etc., etc. You need to understand where the term Messiah really comes from. Yes? Oh, no, it comes from the Hebrew. No. It goes way back to Egyptian Bantu. And I explained this in several videos. I will not explain once again here. Maybe I will do another video explaining that one. But Christ is an African term. You know, there are many secrets, my brothers and sisters. In Kukongo, we also have the word Kuswa, which also is a reference, right? It's also a word which means Christ. Kuswa. Kuswa. Kuswa Congo. Kuswa Congo. And we have another word, a Bantu Egyptian word, Messe. Messe, which literally means the anointed one, or the power of the anointing, or one who is anointed by the fat of the crocodile. Oh, now be careful, talking about crocodiles now. When Moses and Aaron went before the Pharaoh, therefore, when I say certain things, I always try to explain so that you understand where it's coming from. If I don't do it, you would think that Nabi Kefa is just this crazy guy who dresses very well, you know, who is teaching the Bantu truth and mixing it with paganism. That's what people say, that's what people think, because they don't really listen. Yeah? But if you have been listening to me, you will know, and you may understand by now, that the crocodile is actually the power of the anointed one. Yeah, the crocodile, it's an animal totem, just like the lion, just like the snake, just like the wolf. Okay, and those are all Bantu Israelite totems, animal totems. Yeah, so don't be hating, don't be cursing. Just listen, learn, try to learn something. Okay, so the crocodile is the totem, or the animal totem of the anointed king. So therefore, when Aaron and Moses stood before Pharaoh, according to the biblical story, Aaron threw his staff and it transformed into a tanim, not in a nachas, as previously manifested through Moses. But this time, before Pharaoh, it transformed, Aaron's staff transformed into a tanim. Tanim in Hebrew means a sea monster, and in some cases, crocodile. Okay, crocodile, which corresponds very well with Bantu Bukongo teachings, right? It's perfectly parallel with the Bantu teaching and the Bantu understanding. All right, we're going like this. Now, this word kakak, look at this word kakak. Let's read the text again. The scepter, which is a ruler's staff, shall not depart from Judah, nor a lawgiver, kakak, from between his feet until Shiloh come. And unto him shall the gathering of the people be. Now here, it is telling us already, yes, that kakak is one who gathers the people. One who rules over the people. Okay, incredible. Yeah. This is something. I think I have a teaching. Let's see. I'm not sure. Let me go to my channel. Okay. How can I all videos? Maybe it was a live, I think. I have a video. I don't know what the title of the video is, where I talk about the crocodile, okay? Or maybe it's deleted. I have no idea. I don't see it. I don't see it. Maybe it's deleted. You guys need to watch this too. The new moon. Powerful teaching. Okay, here. Look at this. Do you see this video? You need to watch this video over here entitled The Mystery of the Rod of Moses and Aaron. The Wisdom of Moses. Egyptian Influence and the Mystery of the Rod of Moses and Aaron. When you watch this video over here, it will give you a deeper understanding on the crocodile, okay? What I just said. So I don't need to repeat myself here. So just go and watch that video if you want to understand the crocodile as the sign of the anointed king in Bantu tradition and in ancient Judaic tradition and in ancient Kemet, because those three have a symbiotic relationship. They have the same origin. They are actually one and the same. Now look at this. The Strong's definition of kakak. A primitive root, probably to hack. That's to say to engrave. To engrave. So a kaka is a writer or a scribe. See? A scribe. And kaka is also a scribe. So he's a priest, by implication to enact laws, okay, to enact laws, to cut in stone or tablets, yes, tablets, so writing in primitive times, to appoint, to decree, to govern, lawgiver, yes, govern and lawgiver, but it's also defined as grave. Now take note of all those 3 points, okay? All these 3 over here below, to govern, and let's give this one a color. Let's make it red. Now my question now to you, brothers and sisters, why is kakak, okay, why is kakak also defined as grave? Yes, Kufu Ausar, the mystery of the rod of Moses. Watch that video, that explains it. Now why is the word kakak? Okay, now let's go there and okay, let's put it here. The word as we have seen, first mention is in Genesis 49 verse 10. Yes, it's confirmed in Numbers 21:18, where it says the princes digged the well, the nobles of the people digged it by the direction of the lawgiver, who is a kakak in Hebrew, kakak. Let's continue. Deuteronomy 33 verse 21, and he provide the first part for himself, because there in the portion of the lawgiver, once again, kakak in Hebrew, which is kaka or koko in Kikongo, Lingala. Judges 5:9, my heart is toward the governor of Israel. See that? The governor of Israel. It's also the word kakak in biblical Hebrew. So we can go on and on and on. And here we see the word kakak used for something being printed or written in a book. And so it also points to a scribe. A scribe. And most of the time the scribes in the Bible are priests. In Geta. Now there we see it, we have verified the word kakak, and it indeed is used for lawgivers, governors, leaders, those who are appointed, right? Leaders of the people. But it's also used for a scribe, right? One who engraves, yes, to be a scribe. And it is connected with the grave. Now you will understand why. Now in the word kakak, the final consonant generally, with few exceptions, is voiceless. So kakak is pronounced kaka, yes, in Kikongo Bantu language. It's not kakak, but it's pronounced kaka, kaka. Now the word kakak is the Kikongo nkaka. Nkaka is an elder, a chief, a lawgiver, a governor. But also, look at this, ancestors in the beyond, or ancestors. Oh my goodness. It also refers to an ancestor or ancestors in the beyond. Okay, let's link this with Genesis 25 verse 8. Verse 8. What do we see in Genesis 25 verse 8? Now let's go there. Let's go there, okay? Are you learning something today, brothers and sisters? When you sit under Nabi Kefa, you always learn something crazy. That's why people hate me. Okay? That's why people unsubscribe in mass and say Nabi Kefa is crazy. Talking about ancestors and stuff. This guy's insane. He has lost it. It's our tradition, and I'm showing you here, okay? And remember, we are not talking about demons. No. Because bukoko, yes, from the verb kaka, bukoko means ancestral tradition. You understand? It means the customs, traditions, and the laws of our ancestors. You see? So, that's the reason why the Bible always talks about the God of our ancestors. The God of our ancestors. The God of our ancestors. Have you noticed that this biblical language is always like that? They never say, oh, God, 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 God. Even when God, the angel, right? Even when the angel appears to them, to prophets, or speaks to the people in prophecy, they will always say the God of your fathers. They will always refer back to the fathers. You understand? That's an ancestral language. They're referring to the ancestors, always connecting the Israelites of the Bible with their ancestors. So, what is demonic when I say we must serve the God of our ancestors and understand who they were, to know our customs, traditions, and laws? What is so demonic on that, about that? See, but because we're African, right? People be tripping. People be, triggered when they hear ancestor. They automatically, they have been programmed by the Kadiyampe Mamundele through their religious institutions to think that when Africans talk about ancestors, they are worshiping dead people. They are being involved in necromancy. Good to know that the word necromancy, it's not even in a Bantu language. Yes, vocabulary. It's not even there. We don't have that word. We don't have. If you are a Bantu speaking person, what's the word in your Bantu language for necromancy? It's not there. It does not exist. It does not exist. You understand? So because we naturally have nothing to do with demons, and we don't call upon evil spirits and wicked spirits. So our ancestors are always those who are connected to the Most High. Always. That's why we say, oh, the God of our forefathers, Abana, Isaka, Yakuba, the God of my father, the God of my father, my ancestor. Because we know who they serve. Because the law, the traditions, the promises, everything is what we have inherited from them. It's not the other way around. They have not inherited from us. We have inherited from them. You understand? So when we break the covenant, as we are repenting, we are not just repenting to God, to the Most High. We are also repenting to our ancestors who gave us the law, which they received from God and which we broke. So we're saying sorry to our ancestors, and we're saying sorry to the angels who gave us the commandments. Yes, the laws. And we are repenting also to the Most High, who is the direct source of those laws descending to us. You understand? So that's how it works. That's the reality that we need to understand. Now, talking about the grave, now look at this. Genesis 25 verse 8 says what? Then Abraham gave up the ghost, and he died in a good old age, an old man and full of years, and was gathered to his people. He was gathered to his ancestors. Okay? If you are hating your ancestors today, they will also reject you tomorrow. You will not be gathered to your people. You understand? That's why it's very important to know who you are, where you came from, and understand the customs and traditions of your fathers. We have never been Israelites. That's a European term. We are Isolele. We are Bena Congo. And some will say we are Bantu. We are the children of Zulu. Okay? So we must know our true tradition, our true history, the custom of our ancestors, because that's what make us a people. Right now, in this awakening, we are trying to take what the Kadiampemba wrote down and what the Kadiampemba has been teaching in the institutions, and we are trying to convert them to be ours. All right, and we say, okay, it's Hebrew Israelites. Israelites. Yay, we Israelites. You Hamites are going to hell. You'll be slaves in the kingdom. things like that. All Africans are Hamites, according to some. That was the theory. Now people are changing the mind because our voices are being heard. Yes, now suddenly, oh, wait a minute, there may be some Israelites in Africa. Yes, but we know the truth, and knowing the truth does not mean that you have to say everything. You understand? Because when you're dealing with people who have been ignorant for a long time, it's not wise to overload them in one go with the complete truth. You will kill them. So what I try to do is to bring out the truth in phases, right? In phases. When you understand one part, then we can go up and introduce another part. You understand? And that's what we're supposed to do. And this season now, that's why I'm telling you now, in this season, you are not an Israelite. Your ancestors never called themselves Israelites. You are Yisolele. Yeah? That's the Bantu term. Yisolele. I have done a beautiful breakdown. It is available on Patreon. You need to become a Patreon member and watch that video called Yisolele versus Israel. I break down the name Israel versus Yisolele. What is more fitting? Yes, and there are, of course, more breakdowns using the Bantu language that we can use, okay, to break down Israel in the Bible, that word. First of all, it's Yisolele, which means loved and chosen. Because I have loved you, I chose you. Okay, loved and chosen. Yisolele. In the book, we are repeatedly told that the Most High loved us and chose us. See, so the name Yisolele is very fitting. And another term is Yisayela. Yisayela. What we need to understand. And a third may be Yisarayela. Yisarayela. But never Israelites. Because those are Greek, Roman terms. Our ancestors never knew those terms. Okay? Yeah? So, I'm just saying. Now, he was gathered to his people. That is to say, that he died and his ancestors received them. Yeah? His ancestors received them in the beyond. That's why, now let's go back to the definition. That's why in the word kakak, okay, because kakak also means ancestor in the Bukongo, right? Here, in Kikongo, it also means an ancestor in the beyond. Yeah, confirmed, and which is very parallel with Genesis 25. And that's the reason why in the definition of the biblical Hebrew kakak, we also find grave. Grave. You see that? Grave. Now you explain me what makes sense. Does this make sense? Or is there any other interpretation or understanding? Reading the Strong's definition of the word kakak. In the definition, they tell you it is also connected with the grave. Now, how is kakak connected with the grave? And it's, my goodness. Everything I'm teaching, I always make sure to give you scripture and to break down the Hebrew strong words and to give you the Kikongo so that you have a complete understanding of what we're talking about. Because you need to understand that the Hebrew is in actuality ancient Kikongo, okay? Because the Hebrew, the true Hebrew, what they call Paleo Hebrew, or even the hieroglyphs, the hieroglyphs. Those are all one and the same. And they are today the Kikongo language, or the Bantu dialects. You can find all those Hebrew and Egyptian words because they have one origin, one ancestral origin. Some scholars even say that those people spoke one and the same language, the Proto-Bantu language. You understand? So the Hebrew, the ancient Egyptian, the Bantu, they all spoke Proto-Bantu because they were one and the same people. Even this, however, being a fact, many will dispute it. They will say, no. And once again come with the European theology between the division of Ham and Shem. The division of Ham and Shem is a great mess. Great mess. We are... Okay, let me not go into that here. Okay, let me not go into that here. Excuse me. So let's finish this. And I will not share everything because it's quite long. I will just give you some the basic foundation to confirm what the rabbi said, right? Rabbi Phineas. He is a Mukongo, just confirming what he said. We listened to him, and the question was, is the rabbi correct in his statement? Is Judaism, Bukoko, the ancestral tradition of the Congo people and Bantu in general? So we are dealing with that. Now, when we look into the Hebrew kakak, we are told, I said the word kakak is the Kikongo kaka, which means elder, chief, lawgiver, governor, ancestors in the beyond. The word ties. You remember I told you to remember what? What was it you needed to remember? In the... No. I even forgot where it was. It was in the definition, right? In the definition of the Greek, Latin, of the Latin religar. Look at that. The Latin religar, which means to bind fast. To bind fast. Via the notion of place an obligation on or a bond between humans and gods. A bond between humans and God. Now, when we look in what we are explaining here, the word kaka, ties, which is kanga. And this word kanga is also in the Bible. Okay, it's also in the Bible. It's there as kagar in the Hebrew, which is used for tying a belt. Yes, tying a belt around your waist or around your chest. Okay, now that word kakak ties kanga those who are alive and dead together. Okay, are you seeing this? Today you're learning something. Today you will love me or hate me. Yeah, it's the one or the other. Today you will love me or you will hate me. Kembo. Natatanzambi Yamanzulu. Hey, I hope you're enjoying this teaching. And if not, I'm sorry. Just listen, let it marinate, come back later, listen to it again, and maybe you will understand what we're saying here. Because sometimes, as you're listening, right, at the first time, you don't understand it, you don't get it. And the second time listening, you're like, okay. And then later on, you get it, you understand it. It's just a matter of, growth. We don't all grow at the same level at once. Some people go very fast, others they are a bit slow. But in time, you will begin to understand. Okay. Yes. Enrique Britton says, I love you, brother Nabi. Matonto. Zambia Benisa. And of course, love you too as a muntu, mwana Congo. I love all of you. You are my people. As a Bena Congo. Yes. That's why I always try to keep the courage. Understand? And I love it to come online and talk to you guys. I love it. I have a passion to talk to my brothers and sisters. I've ministered as a apostle to pastor in Christian ministry for a long time. So as a pastor, pastors love to talk, right? They're guilty. They love to talk. They talk too much. So I am passionate. I can tell you, I'm very passionate. Coming online, spending time just to teach and to talk with you guys, to connect with you guys, to reveal, the truth of our ancestors, our ancestral customs, traditions, and to go into scripture and to connect them with our own tradition. We don't need to copy the SOS. You know what I'm talking about? The synagogue of S. We don't need to copy them because everything they do is fake, is counterfeit, right? They just copied what they saw our ancient ancestors do. They copy it and call it later on the Jewish tradition. But we know they're liars. So why copy them? Why copy their language, trying to speak Yiddish? Suffocating language. Why? That's why there's a importance in understanding who your ancestors were, right? Let's go down for a moment. What makes a people? And the people, members of a family or kinship, a body of persons, Bantu, that are united by a common culture. What is our culture? It's definitely not Khazarian Judaism. Yes, it's definitely not Jewish. So what's the culture? What's the tradition of our ancestors? Yes. What's our language? What's our language? It's not Yiddish, because Yiddish is, of course, created after 1948 by Ben Yehuda something, Ben Yehuda Ebenezer or something. Yes, he created the Yiddish language. It has nothing to do with our language. They just took some biblical Hebrew words, yes, mixed it with their own Germanic and Slavic tongues, and created Yiddish. Now, some of our brothers and sisters are learning Yiddish because they think that's the holy language. It's not. It's a fake language of a fake people who have nothing to do with the heritage of Congo. You understand? That's why I'm fighting to transmit to you the understanding that we must not hate the holy ancient customs and traditions and language and institutions of our ancestors, but we need to embrace them. Okay? We need to embrace them and to understand what is Bukoko. What is actually yeah. Yeah, I'm of course not the only one. There are many other brothers and sisters out there, who are doing the same work. Okay, I'm just one of the one. All right. Thank you for your patience. That was my younger brother, Mpangi. I will call him back later. So, yeah, Matondo. Yeah. So, what was I saying? Okay, I think we'll just finish this. So the word Nkaka, the word ties, Kanga, those who are alive and dead together. Oh, that's something, eh? That's something. And Genesis 25, of course, confirms. Many other scriptures confirms, because there are many confirm the same thing. This is a biblical language. See, because here Abraham, who died, was gathered to his people, but among Bantu tradition, we don't die. Okay, we Bantu people, we don't die. We transform. We leave this world behind. We resurrect in the beyond, and we are received among the holy ones, as we are clothed with a new body. Yes, as we are clothed with a new body, the similitude of Yah. Yes, and we become angels. And Simbi, we become angels. Maleki, we become illuminated spirit, intermediary spirit. That is the Congo tradition, so we don't die. And because we become like angels, we can appear to our brothers and sisters. We can appear to our kings, yes, and give them guidance, give them prophecy, give them the word of Yah, right? The counsel of heaven. That is what is called in the book of Hebrew the cloud of witnesses. Do you understand? Yeah. So, in Bukongo, the world of the living and the dead, they are tied together. Kanga. Okay? They are tied together. That's why as you read scripture, when angels appear, they are called muntu. They are called men. Men, ish, men, muntu. Yes. A man appeared and told me this and that. A man appeared and saved me. It's always a man, a muntu, a maleki, who is a brother, a governor, right? Because the article ma in Kikongo is used for dignitaries, for kings, officers, chiefs. Ma Congo. Yes. The Israelites, let's say the Bantu, have always been under the rule of the Bankaka since the time of Moses, Massa. This is confirmed in Numbers 11, verse 16 to 24, Judges 5:9, Matthew 26:3. The ancient Kaka of the people were feared and respected legislators of the people, the tribes. This tradition has always been present among the Bantu people. Yes, this biblical tradition, let me put biblical in there because it's biblical, has always been present among the Bantu people. Yes, the Bankaka or Bakoko or Makoko. You see the article ma here. It can be used as a prefix to denote plurality, but it can also be used as an article that denotes kingship, rulership, etc. Okay, Makoko, and these are the people who govern their respective tribes, and they were mostly considered or associated with the office of a priest. Not always. Sometimes they were kings, Sometimes they were just chiefs, and but mostly in the Bible, they are also tied with the priest and with the tribe of Judah and with the heads of the tribes, right? The heads of the tribes. Now, Bukongo in the New Testament, of Bukoko. Bukoko in the New Testament. Do you know what Bukoko means? Do you remember? Yes. Bukoko means ancestral traditions, customs, or law. Yes. So Bukoko in the New Testament. Romans 9 verse 4 and 5. Who are Israelites, to whom pertaineth the adoption and the glory and the covenants and the giving of the law and the service of God. Yes. Service of God and the promises, okay, whose are the fathers, that is to say, of the ancestors, okay, of the ancestors. Now, when they talk about the God of our ancestors in the Bible, are they dead or alive? Yes, every time that they're talking about, the mentioning the term, the sentence, God of our ancestors. Are they talking about dead people? No, they are alive. The same thing is among Bantu tradition, because the holy ones don't die. A true Muntu, a true Congo does not die. Yes, he immigrates to the beyond, and there in the beyond he is reborn anew. You understand? Now, and of whom, as concerning the flesh, Christ. Now, Christ is the divine king, right? Divine king. That's Christ. Is the divine king. The divine king always descends. He always incarnates. Okay? That's the way he descends into this world. He incarnates. He does not come from the clouds. You understand? Are you hearing what I'm saying? People be hating. We're saying, no, you're wrong. I'm not trying to convince anyone. I'm just teaching you Bukongo. Yeah, the customs, traditions of our ancestors. A Christ, Nkusua, a Messe, he never descends from the clouds like, you see the clouds opening and he's descending. No, he's always born. He incarnates. It is the Spirit of Christ that always incarnates among the Congo people. He does not incarnate in a Jewish Kadiampemba. He does not incarnate in a Mundele Kadiampemba, in a Chinese Kadiampemba. No. He incarnates in a Muntu body. According to the traditions and customs of our ancestors, which is called Bukongo, of Bukoko. And so we see Bukoko even in the Old Testament. And we can also go, I haven't put this one in the presentation, but we can also read this one in the New Testament, 2 Timothy 1 verse 3. Okay. And these verses, biblical scriptures that I share, no one talks about these scriptures. No one breaks these scriptures down like Nabi Kefa. Yeah. These things, you will only learn these things here. You will only gain understanding of these things, these truths here. Yeah. I'm not popular on YouTube. I don't have 50K followers and things like that. But the teachings here are profound. Okay? Yeah? You don't hear these teachings anywhere else. Come on. I'm just pointing out the facts and the truth. Because I realize very well that if you are teaching things like this, people will hate you, people will label you, people will say all kinds of things because they don't understand. So for me preaching and teaching all this, it will not make me popular. I know, I understand. It will not make me popular. I need to talk about, we are the Israelites and bringing all those recepts, right? Showing you we the Israel. We have done that already. We are past that. Now we are focused in the customs, traditions of our ancestors, pulling it from the scriptures, because the Hebrew scriptures, right, the Strongs, they hold secrets. Okay. They hold a lot of secrets. Now we are pulling all those secrets out and bringing them into the light. Now look at this. What Paul, who's this? Paul is saying, I thank God whom I serve from my ancestors. So even Paul is saying here, he is serving the God of his ancestor. He is a practitioner of Bukoko. Yes, he is a practitioner of Bukoko. That's what Paul is saying here. Yeah, in the Bantu understanding, he's saying, I am a practitioner of Bukongo. I serve God from my ancestors, Nkaka, Nkoko. So he's a practitioner of Bukoko, one who is tied to the custom, traditions, and laws of his ancestor. Yeah? Man, this is something. Now, authentic Bukoko. Therefore, By tradition, we ought to serve and worship. Oh, I have it. I have it here. Oh, I was not sure, but I do have it here. The text of 2 Timothy. Now, therefore, by tradition, we ought to serve and worship the God of our fathers, of our ancestors, as Paul attests in 2 Timothy 1 verse 3. I thank God whom I serve from my ancestors with a pure conscience. The Bantu ancestral tradition in the knowledge of the Most High is the authentic religion rooted in the divine practice of Kimpasi, or Lemba. Okay, now people be talking about the Lemba Jews. Lemba is Kikongo. Okay, and it is tied with the divine school, the divine initiatory school, where the knowledge of the Most High was taught. Okay, where the knowledge, the secret, the mystery of the Most High was taught in the Kimpasi. This is what the Europeans, people of the North, aimed to destroy. Okay, to destroy. Preaching to us that Bukongo was and still is demonic. And that's what's going on today. People are saying, oh, the poor Bantu teachers, the poor Bantu, they are so demonic. Those Africans, they are so demonic. They are mixing scripture with paganism. Those poor brothers and sisters on the way to hell, deceiving our brothers in the diaspora. Are you deceived, brothers and sisters? You who are watching me, do you feel like you are being deceived? Do you sense? Do you do you feel? What's that word I'm looking for? I'm looking for this word. Do you discern that you are being deceived by Nabi Kefa? Am I deceiving you? Right? As some people say, I'm deceiving the diaspora in mixing the Israelites' doctrine with paganism. What is an Israelite doctrine? Exactly. Right? What what is it exactly? Is it exactly what it is written in the Bible? That's the Israelite doctrine. That's the teachings, tradition, and custom completely of our ancestors as it is written like that in scripture? I can answer that. Some believe, some say yes, 100%. 100%. Okay. Now the commandments in Bukoko. What is Bukoko? The ancestral traditions, customs, and laws. The Kemetic book, which is the Egyptian book, coming forth by day, Erogenus, translated as the Book of the Dead, illustrates that divine practice is based on the observance of the commandments of Ma'at. Now, I know that many, when they think on Egypt, they think of a culture that is full of darkness, a culture that is deprived from the knowledge of God. But that's not true. All the ancients recognized Egypt as being the religious light of the world. So if all the ancient and even the hieroglyphs themselves speak on it, how come today when we mention Egypt, people think in their mind, oh, he's talking about those wicked people, those idol worshippers. Do you know that the Egyptians, the ancient Kemites, yes, the kings of the true ancient Kemet, and the nobles, the dignitary, do you know that in the hieroglyphs they are described as the people of the Yahud, the people of Yahoo, the people of Adon or Aten, which today is Adonai? Do you know that they are described as the sons of God, Atum or Amun, which is the Most High or the Creator? But because those who hate you and who hate me, who hate the true history of Egypt, came with a narrative of demonization, many just took up that doctrine and they're saying, oh, the demons. Remember, even the greatest deliverer, according to scripture, he was learned in all the wisdoms and knowledge of the ancient Kemites. And the reason I use the term Kemites and Kemetic or even Kamitic is because of the fact that the term Egypt that is the term which is demonic. Yeah? Because Egypt, you can research yourself, comes from the Greek word Egyptos, and Egyptos is a Greek god. Yes, is a Greek god whom the Greek used to usurp the royalty, the kingship, the traditions, and ancient religion of the ancient Kemites. You understand? And the tradition and religion of the ancient Kemites is very neat with Bukongo. Very neat together with Bukongo. And I will have to explain this one in a separate teaching to show you the light in Kemet, which is the same light, right, shining here and there in the Bible. And the Bukongo is the continuation of that light. And I have to do a teaching separately to present what I'm saying here. Okay? That's why I told you guys, this year, you will love me or you will hate me. This year, I'm telling you, if you are running away, unsubscribing now, my goodness, this year, I'm just starting. You will love me or you will hate me. You will say, no. This guy, no. He's a Hamite. That's what you will say. He's a Hamite. Kadiampemba. He's an agent. That's what people say, right? But I never fail to give you scripture. And everything I say, okay, I will show you in the scripture as we connect it with Bukongo, yeah, with our Bantu tradition. We break down the words. Always. We never fail. Tammy Duff, thank you, Matondo, for your donation. May Tatanzambe bless you and increase you. Ingeta. I never fail. Even here, I'm showing you, right? The Hebrew connected with our tradition Bukongo, breaking down the etymology. I never fail. I make sure to always present it to you so that you can trust in the knowledge and you can take it and share it with other people, showing them the same connections. Ingeta, yeah, are you with me? Who is with me in here? Let me know in the chat. Are you with me? Yeah? Or are you still doubting? Like, I don't know, man. This guy. This guy. Hey, Mbote Baya. Mbote Ndeko. How you doing? Okay. Let's continue. So the commandments of Nzambi are called Nkondominzambi in the Kimpasi. Yes, Kondominzambi. Karl Laman, he was a French missionary, okay, among the Congo people. Yeah. Mariko Congo Ngeta Ndeko. Nkufu Ausar. Kembu. Yeah, Temi Tough. Wonderful. Chris Matisse. All good. Ngeta. Let's study. Good to see you again. You're still listening. Ingeta. Yeah. We're good. Karl Laman, a French missionary in 1932, defines the term kondo as law. See? So, and this guy, Karl Laman, I don't know if you can we Google him? Let's see if we can Google him. He was a French missionary in Congo. Yes, and he confirms, because those missionaries, as they were coming in, they were doing study on the Congo people. Yes, studies on the Congo people. Look him here. Karl Laman. It's this guy. That's him. Why is this so small? We see him here with a brother, He's asking this brother words. How do you say this in your language? How do you say that in your language? And writing it down and creating the Karl Laman dictionary. Yes. He study ethnographica something. Ethnographica something. Karl Laman. Oh, okay. I have his dictionary. Congo dictionary. Man, the dictionary is good. It's very good. Unfortunately, it's in French. I haven't seen a English version. If you can find the English version, think of me, Forward it to me. But this is Karl Laman among the Congo. Look at that. Yeah. Studying our people, our culture, our customs, our language, as teaching them Christianity, teaching them Christianity, baptizing them. Look at this. Making Israelites, Isolele, Christians. Depriving them from the ancestral traditions, Bukoko. Converting them into Christians. Sleeping Christians who don't know who they are anymore. Look at this. Baptism. 1891. My goodness. 1891. Karl Laman. Look at this church indoctrinating the children. Look at that. See that? Indoctrinating the children. Incredible. Incredible. That's what they have done. That's what they have done. They deprived you from your ancestral tradition. Now today we say, oh, we are thankful for the Mundele who came and gave us the Bible, gave us Christ, Christianity. We are grateful, and we forget the horrors, right? We forget all the horrors. The violent, they came with such a violent, murdering, raping, hanging people, burning people. Millions dead. But today we're thankful? Man. Anyway, he confirms in his dictionary, indeed, Nkondo means law, regulation, ordinance, foundation, decree, defense, and prohibition. The expression Kondo Minzambi literally means commandments. Okay? Literally means commandments. So the European Christian, they are not the ones who taught our ancestors the commandments of God. You understand? It is within our ancestral tradition, which is called Bukoko, that we knew and we understood. Yes? Ma'ati. The commandments of God, which are the same commandments found in the Bible. Yes? Nkondi. Kondo Minzambi. Which are the same commandments found in the Bible. Love your brother, love your neighbor, don't kill, don't steal, don't curse God, keep the Sabbath holy. All those commandments. Now, Ma'at is the Bantu Egyptian root. Yes. Ma'at is the Bantu. Now, you guys know that, like I said, Egyptian. It's actually more correct, Kemetic. Okay. Now, Ma'at is the Bantu Egyptian or Kemetic root for the biblical Hebrew Emet. Yes, Emet. Consonantal written MT. The Aleph is silent, so we drop the Aleph because the Aleph is silent. Let me see if I have. No, I don't have it here. Okay. The Aleph is silent, so we remain with the skeleton MT, which gives us Ma'at. Yeah? Mat, which is Ma'at. Do you see the connection here? So, the biblical Hebrew Emet, yes, which consonantal is written MT because the Aleph is silent. So MT gives us mat or ma'at. The definition, I have it. Yes. The definition is what? Truth. Look at this. Truth. Faithfulness. Biblical outline. Firmness, faithfulness, truth, sureness, reliability, stability, continuance, faithfulness, reliableness, truth as spoken, of testimony and judgment. Yes, testimony and judgment. Now, if you are familiar with the Ma'at, you know that when you die and present yourself in the beyond, before the holy ones, the Kaka, there will be a testimony and a judgment. Okay, there will be a testimony of your life and judgment. Truth as of divine instruction. See? Divine instruction. Truth as a body of ethical or religious knowledge. Also true as doctrine. Yes, true as doctrine. That's the Hebrew emet, which is in actuality ma'at. Ma'at. Okay? Now, look at this. In Kikongo, in Lingala, we also have the word mateya, which is rooted in ma'at. Okay? So, in Lingala, you have the word mateya, which is rooted in ma'at. The biblical Hebrew emet. Emet, which is MT, because the aleph is silent. We remain with the consonantal root MT, which gives us mat or ma'at. And in the Lingala, mat, the root mat, which gives us mateya, means what? What is the meaning of mateya? Mateya is a spoken truth, yes, as a doctrine that is spoken, yes, doctrine, spoken doctrine, sermon, things like that, yes, instructions, religious instructions is also called mateya, religious instruction, mateya in church, mateya. Now, and this word mateya yes, became Matisyahu in Hebrew, who is Matthias or Matthew in English. Now, do you see it? It became Matthew in English, Matisyahu in Hebrew. But it stems from Ma'at. Ma'at. Okay? It stems from Ma'at. Do you get it? Okay. Salvation and Bukongo. Okay. Don't be triggered because you see Osiris there. Don't be triggered because you see the image of Osiris there. Don't be triggered because you see the image of Osiris there. Salvation and Bukongo. By practicing the divine commandments, a Nkongo, which is a Congo person, works out his salvation to regain his God status, which he lost, and to become again an Ausar. An Ausar, that is Osiris, a son of God, son of the resurrection and life. You see? And it is in direct correspondence with Luke 20 verse 36. Okay, now let's go there. Let's look it up. Let's look it up. No. Okay. Okay, look at this. Neither can they die anymore. Neither can they die anymore, for they are equal unto the angels. So what does it mean to be equal? What does it mean to be equal? Because for they are equal to the angels. So they become as the angels themselves. You understand? So therefore, intermediate spirits. And intermediate spirits can do what? Angels can appear. So they have become members of the cloud of witnesses, according to Hebrew 12. And are the children of God. The children of God being children of the resurrection. And that's Osiris. That's the image, yes, of Osiris, symbolically represented in Osiris, a child of resurrection. Yes? Now, Judaism, according to this book, the Atlas Geographus of Africa, according to this book, it states that Judaism was the religion of the ancient African for a long time. So, once again, it confirms that Bukoko is ancient Judaism, and that this Judaism has always been among the Bantu Africans. The region the writer alludes to is Upper Kush or Kemet, what today is called Sub-Saharan Africa. However, in ancient times, it was designated as Upper and Lower Ethiopia or Kush, which is Congo Katiopa. Yes, and yeah, Kush and Ethiopia are one of the same. This is Greek, this is Hebrew, and it is Congo. Okay, Congo Katiopa. In the history of Tacitus, he writes, "Many assured us they, the Israelites, were a race of Ethiopian origin." Yes, now Ethiopian, the term Ethiop is Greek. The Hebrew is Cush. Now, it's not alluding to the present-day country named Ethiopia, but to a people described as black-faced or burned, sunburned, according to the Greek term Aethiop, people of ancient Kemet and Nubia. Those were the builders of the first civilization. And in Amos 9:7 we read, "Are ye not as children, Bene, of the Ethiopians, Kushim," right? Kushim, from Kush. "Kushim unto me, O children of Israel, said the Lord. Have not I brought up Israel out of the land of Egypt?" Now Kush is the region south of Kemet, up the Nile. Talmud commentary by Rashi. "Are you not like the children of the Cushites to me? Why should I refrain from exacting retribution upon you, since you do not return to me? Have you not come from the sons of Noah, like the other nations, like the Cushites, whom you resemble?" Okay, whom you resemble. As the mother is stated, can a Cushite change his skin? Interesting, eh? So, how did the ancient Israelite go from being Cushi to Caucasian? Question mark. So, how did the ancient Israelites, right, go from being Cushi to Caucasian, Europeans, and Ashkenazi? Question mark. Another commentary. It's from the Midrash. 4 were called Cushites. Zipporah, Saul, Israel. Oh, wait. Let me see. 4 were called Cushites. Zipporah, Saul, Israel. Come on, people. And Baruch ben Neriah. Zipporah, which was said about the Cushite woman's speech, Bamidbar 12:1, and Saul, which was said about the words of Cush, son of Yamini, and Baruch ben Neriah, who is said to be the servant of the Cushites, and Israel, who is said to be the children of Cushites. You are to me, children of Israel. Now, that's not what I wrote, okay? It's not, Nabi Kefa's interpretation. This is Jewish commentaries. Yeah, as you can see. This is Jewish commentaries. It's not what I wrote. You understand? So there are secrets. Those people know. And there is a Jewish rabbi who clearly stated that the term Cushi, yes, in the term Cushi, you will find God, the Messiah, and his people. Okay? A French rabbi. Not be careful. A French rabbi. He said that in the term Cushi, you will find God, the Most High, you will find the Messiah, and the people. So they are all Cushi. Yes, Cushi, which is in Greek Ethiopians. Okay, now the rest, if you want to know the rest, you will have to go to Patreon. You have to go to Patreon if you want to get understanding of this and everything. Okay, I will conclude. Now, to conclude, I have something for ya. Now, this is the Jewish Encyclopedia. Look at the heading. It says ancestor worship. And we know that in essence, we don't worship ancestors as we worshiping the Most High, okay, but we venerate, okay, and veneration and worship are sometimes described as the same, as we see in the Bible, because Moses also worshipped his father-in-law. For those who know the scriptures, most people will be hating, commenting, but they don't even truly know scriptures in the way I am presenting it. Yeah, they would just be hating. But Moses worshipped his father-in-law. Okay. Now here in the Jewish, that's not something I wrote. Jewish Encyclopedia.com. So you can literally go on the website and verify. You can verify everything I'm saying. You will see that everything I'm saying is the truth. I'm not making things up. I'm giving you the truth from our Bantu perspective We are taking the secrets and mysteries from the Bible, right? And I am bringing it before you so you can have an understanding. Because the secret things belong to us and our children, according to the book of Deuteronomy 29:29. Okay, let's read it. So the Most High has secrets. Okay, there are secrets, and the biblical Strongs are full of secrets. The secret things belong to the Lord our God, Yahweh Elohim. But those things which are revealed belong unto us and to our children forever. Okay, that we may do all the words of the law. Now, the law, Nkondo Minzambi, Ma'at, Mateya, right? Divine instructions. Divine instructions. Okay. The same homage written by Joseph Jacobs, but the same homage and adoration paid to deceased parents and more remote ancestors as usually given to deities. Many anthropologists, okay, not a few, many, not a few, many anthropologists are of opinion that this was the original form of religion. Are you seeing this? The school, represented by Stade and F. Schwally, argues that it was the original religion of Israel. You see? So it is Bukoko. 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 It was Bukoko, and Bukoko is African. The true origin of Judaism is African, is Bantu. It was the original religion of Israel before Javaism was introduced by Moses and the prophets. According to them, much of the priestly legislation was directed against the rites connected with ancestor worship. At the present view that the original religion of Israelite was some form of ancestor worship. See? Is the only one that has been put forward scientifically or systematically, together with an explanation of the changes made by the latter and true religion of Israel. Now there you have it. So even the Jewish Encyclopedia tells us that the original tradition of the ancient Israelite, not of the Israeli, not of the Jewish SOS, no, the ancient Israelite was African. Okay, African, because we were the first people to receive the knowledge of God, the light of God, yes, by the mediation of angels. And those angels are called Melach in Hebrew, Meleki in Swahili, and Kikongo, Maleki. Ma is an article that can denote nobility. It can also be used as a prefix to denote plurality. Maleki can mean those of our brothers who rule over us or who watch over us, who are angels. You understand? Keeping it on track, Matondo, for your generous gift. May Tatanzambe bless you and increase you. Ingeta. Bandeko, it was truly wonderful. Yes, it was. It was truly wonderful. I believe we had a good time. I enjoyed the session. We revealed a lot of truths. It's amazing. It was amazing. Did you enjoy today's live broadcast? Did you enjoy today's live broadcast? It was fire. Moto. Right? Man, it was good. It was good. So I hope you are blessed. I hope you gain value, understanding, insight. Our ancient tradition is not demonic, but we need to have some, how do you say that? I'm searching for the English term. Discernment, right? And we need to have some discernment, because even though that our ancestors did some wicked things, yes, the root of our traditions custom was divine. Okay, divine. You had some rotten apples, of course, who were dealing with true witchcraft, killing people and things like that, but it was not the general. Yes, it was not the general thing. So before I close, just to give you, how do you call that? The dessert, right? The dessert. Let me look for this book from Joseph from Ving, who was a Belgian missionary among the Congo. And let me show you something, okay? What is the name of the book? What is the name of the book? What is the name of the book? Okay, just allow me to look for it, if I can find it. Okay, I think I have it. Yeah. Okay, so let's see. No. Okay, I think it's this portion over here. Okay. Nzambi, creator of all things. See this, for those say, oh, Nzambi, demonic, or zombie. You're ignorant. You believing the Kadian Pemba Mundele over your own brothers and sisters who know the tradition. It's stupid. It's just plain stupid. You just refuse. You're just refusing listening to your Bantu African brothers and sisters who are telling the truth. So you just go there and say, oh, no. Zombie is a zombie. You are worshipping zombies, dead people. Man, come on. Let's grow up. Let's be mature and let's behave maturely. Zombie has nothing to do with zombie, has nothing to do, with necromancy, the worship of the dead, has nothing to do with that. Now look at this. This is a book We are at page 13. Okay, it's a book. Don't be triggered by the title, okay? Because most of you are so quick triggered. Study of Bakongo, religion, and magic. You need to understand what magic truly is, okay? It's not magic has to do with ceremonies, rituals, yes, and spells, like words you pronounce during a certain ritual. So there is a lot of magic in the Bible. You understand? In the Bible, there's a lot of magic going on in the Bible among the people and Israelites. So you need to understand better, what is truly magic. But it's from Joseph Van Wing. It's in French. So let's go and see what he says, what he writes. Now look at this. So he explains, he tells you already, he confirms, right? Nzambi Ampungu, look at this. Nzambi Ampungu. What? The supreme being. Nzambi Ampungu, the supreme being. That's how we, Bena Congo, call the supreme being. Yes, Nzambi Ampungu. Among, I think in Kenya, they also say Mungu. It's actually the same term. Mungu is the same as Mpungu, which means mighty or strong one. Force, force. So the one who is the greatest force, Mungu, Mpungu. Now, between the entire nation of people who inhabit Western Ethiopia and perhaps Eastern Ethiopia, the Bessi Congo were from their beginnings more polite in customs, less barbaric, very, very subject to reason, because, first of all, there were never idols between them. Now, I'm not saying this, right? But this is the observation of a Christian missionary whose name was Joseph Van Wing, a Belgian missionary. He writes his own observation and he says there were never idols between them. Now my question is, who introduced the idols amongst our people? Right? Who? If Joseph Van Wing is writing this in 1938, right? In 1938. So how come that the common narrative is that the Bantu people were just idol worshippers? Yes? But this missionary says, hey, there were never idols between them. Never. Nor temples, look at this, nor temples where they adored or venerated those idols. They only knew God. And it is in direct correspondence with Amos 3. I only knew you. Yes, Isolele. They only knew God. And they adored him. Yes, they adored him as the author of all good, whom they call Nzambi Ampungu, which means Supreme Lord of Heaven. Yes, the Supreme Lord of Heaven, Nzambi Ampungu. Together, they had knowledge of the devil. You see, even the concept of the devil is nothing new. They didn't taught our ancestors anything new. They just deceived them and forced them into conversion to accept Christianity. But they did not worship him. We never worship the devil. Oh, your ancestors worship the devil. According to this missionary, he says, no, these people never worship the devil. right? According to his observance, being there amongst our people. He said, they never worship the devil. I've never seen them worshiping the devil. The Bakongo. I've never seen any Mukongo worship the devil. They only worship God as the supreme Lord of heaven. There you have it, people. We were deceived. Bakosa be so hard. The lie to us so much. We were deceived. So if you want to get the complete information on those things which I have not mentioned here on the presentation, you can support me on Patreon. Now, in this teaching, this life, I took time, because I'm also just talking and trying to connect with you. But a Patreon is just straight on teaching. It's like pop, 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 done. I think in half an hour, 40 minutes, something like that. I just go through it. But here, I'm talking, I'm making some jokes. I'm trying to connect with you guys. You understand? So we have a more, we take some more time, and I hope you guys enjoyed. And once again, I'm inviting you all to join me to Angola. Our next trip will be somewhere this summer in June or July. I will confirm it to you this month. The end of this month, you will know. And if you enjoy the content, if you get value, if you appreciate what I'm doing and taking time coming here, teaching, you can support me via PayPal. You can also become a Patreon member. You can also support here on YouTube itself. Now, you can also, when you join by Patreon, you also have access to my school. Okay, I have a school, BSI. I teach mostly on the samba on a Saturday. Yes, the next samba class is, I believe, let me check. The next class is next week, 11. Yes, next week, 11th. So if you want to be part of that class, make sure to go on Patreon and become a member. Even if you are a free member, you still can have access to the class. It's by Zoom. So if interested, go there, become a member, a paid member or not. You will have access to the Zoom link on Patreon. Matondo, honestly, I am exhausted. So I'm gonna go and rest a little bit and have some dinner. I thank you all for being here, for all those who made the present known in the chat. Now, before I go, let me honor you all by reading your comments and to see if there are any questions. I cannot promise that I will read everything, but let me see if there are some questions that get my attention, and I will try to answer them very shortly. Okay, and then we say our goodbyes. Okay, Amenhotep 78 makes a comment. Kemetiu. How do you pronounce that? Kemetiu was the origins. Okay. Why do we concentrate so heavily on Hebrew? Because Hebrew, the true Hebrew, is Paleo Kikongo. Yes, and we are showing that the source of the Bible is Bantu African. That's why. Kiambote, let's see. Enrique Enrique Breton says, I love your teachings. I've learned so much with you. Okay, I know some things that I teach are hard to understand, but if you stick with me, you will get it. What else? Now let's study and read scripture says, not an Israelite, 100, 100. All right. Jamaica Hebrew Israelites says, in the West, we Jamaicans call ourselves children of Israel and Israelites. In Haiti, we call them Jacobites. Okay, we are aware. If you haven't like this video and share. Okay, they are not. I don't see any questions. Okay. Now I believe that you guys are still with me, huh? You'll stick with me until the end of time. No, it doesn't matter if sometimes you come and go. You're on your own journey. It doesn't matter if you stick with me or not. You are on a journey, and sometimes you will go for a long time, and then you return to say your highs, to greet, and we go in a circle. Yeah, but as we remain connected, it's all good. So Matondo, love you, appreciate you. Until we meet again, I am Nabi Kefa. And don't forget about Angola Investment Group. You can invest with me in Angola. Send me email at Angola info at angolainvestmentgroup.com, and we can connect, we can talk, and I'm also preparing a presentation where you can be part of, where I will present what we're doing in Angola very soon. So until we meet again, may Congo reign. Ingeta. Want het is gewoon puur emotie.